Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Your Life with Yolanda, where you will be empowered, you will be encouraged, and also you will be educated. And this is the 9th show that we have done, and we are here, and I'm so excited about it. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you be a part of the Your Life with Yolanda family. And today it's going to be another amazing time because I have two beautiful and wonderful souls, two beautiful guests who are joining me tonight. And I'm so very glad about them being here and for them taking their time to join us on Your Life with Yolanda. So welcome, ladies, to Your Life with Yolanda.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so excited, super excited that you took your time to join us on today. And I just want to have everybody know who you are. So I'm going to just ask you guys just to introduce yourselves, tell the viewers who are going to be watching a little bit about yourself. And we're going to get into a little bit later about some deeper issues, but not issues, but just some stuff.
Yeah.
But I do want them to know who you are. So starting right next to me, Miss Tanya, could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya. I am a native of Georgia. I'm born and raised in Georgia, a little town called Hinesville, Georgia. I currently reside in Columbia, South Carolina. I am a wife of almost 23 years.
Wow.
Come February.
Wow.
I am a wife, and I'm also a mother of two beautiful daughters. I have one grandson, and I am a daughter of God. I love God, and I love the people of God.
Yes, awesome. Welcome, Tanya. Elder Tanya, I should say. Welcome.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yes, and also below the beautiful lady herself, Tiffany. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Tiffany?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here with you all today. I'm Tiffany. I'm a native of Savannah, Georgia, born and raised, and I currently still reside here in Savannah, Georgia. And my background is in film and television, and always loved the entertainment side of things. So just happy to be here and ready to have fun.
Yay, awesome. Welcome, Tiffany. And I'm super excited that you're here too. So this is going to be a good show, y'all. It's going to be, I think, very encouraging to other ladies to walk in their purpose and that sort of thing. But before we get into the good stuff, I do like to start off with just a little icebreaker, just to break it up a little bit, just something a little fun, nothing deep. A couple of questions I do want to ask you guys, and you can just tell me which one is you. All right. So the first one is sweet or sour?
Sweet.
What? Okay. All right. The second one is summer or winter?
Summer.
Winter.
Summer for you, Tiffany. Tanya,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's the winter for me.
Yes,
listen,
definitely.
it gets a little warm, but
Yeah.
it's the summer for you, Tiffany.
Yes, I don't like cold weather at all.
What?
No.
Oh my gosh. That's so interesting. Okay, this is the last one. Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Thanksgiving.
Really? Okay. All right. Thanksgiving, Christmas. We got one. We got a tie. We got one each. So awesome.
Yes.
I love Christmas, but I do like Thanksgiving too, because I love just getting together with my family and just chilling and doing nothing, right? It's the excuse to just eat and not worry about it. So anyway.
Exactly. That's true.
Yes. But yes, so today, y'all, I'm again excited to be able to talk to you guys and to share you all with our viewers, because I really wanted to encourage other ladies to walk in their purpose and their passion, their giftings and that sort of thing. And I realized that, a lot of times it takes a bit of faith and courage to really just go after some of the things that we are really passionate about. So of course, as I said earlier, I don't know if I said it or not, but today's topic is women making moves. And we want everybody to know, every woman who's going to be watching this, that they can make moves and that they can walk in their purpose. And, everybody's purpose is different. Everyone's passions are different. And, sometimes we sort of get stuck and we try to do what other folks are doing. But I found that it's really, it's a powerful thing when we find our niche and do the thing that God wants us to do. So I want to start with Tiffany a little bit. And I wanted to ask you, you were talking about film and production, and I know that you've done like a whole lot with and I just want to read a little bit so that the viewers will know some of the things that you have done, that you have participated in the Casting Society of America mentoring program. You've been a mentee there. You have over 10 plus years of film and television production experience, even with the Tyler Perry. I didn't even know this about you, Tiffany. I knew you were with film production, but with Tyler Perry Studios, Medea's Christmas, Medea Goes to Jail. Y'all know all of those shows.
Yes.
The OWN Network, Pilots, The Have and Have Nots, Love Thy Neighbor. You've worked with the gospel music documentary. You've gotten awards from film festivals, the International Film Festival, Kingdomwood, all sorts of things that you've done, Tiffany, in the realm of production and film. And you're so, when I see you sometimes, I didn't know all of that was in you like that. So what gave you like the desire to work in film and production and that sort of thing?
Well, definitely, I would say from a kid, I always was fascinated with entertainment, singing, music, you name it. And I just ran with that. It always stuck with me. So I just decided to go after it and pursue it, and always, acknowledging God in everything that I do and did. So with that love for entertainment and the cameras, always being fascinated by Steven Spielberg growing up as a kid. And I just decided to, dive into it. So back in 2007, while I was a senior at Valdosta State University, I was in the mass media program for their mass media Bachelor of Fine Arts program. And with that, I had to participate in the International Documentary Production program. So with that, my professor, he said, well, with this program, you got to go abroad and film a documentary. I said, oh my gosh, so I have to pick somewhere outside of the United States to go and film a documentary. So he said, yes, that's the name of the game if you want to be in this program. Wow. So I said, okay, I'll try it. So what I did was go and do some research for the school. They also had a study abroad program where I could participate in and also travel with other students, so I wouldn't have to travel all the way to another country by myself. So that was an amazing experience, just to go abroad. And I chose France to film a documentary there. And that was my first time actually filming a documentary. And I was able to, with that, I decided to study African Americans who were in the United States during the Civil Rights Movement and the Harlem Renaissance, who wanted to gain freedom and travel abroad. So I always had a passion for history, so just wanted to capture all that inside of filmmaking as well. And I just always carried my love for history with filmmaking. So even outside of doing the documentary in France, which was an amazing experience, I found myself again latching on to documentaries as my final project at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, in their Masters of Fine Arts Film and Television program. And with that, I did a documentary on gospel music, and I did a lot of research on the foundation and the history of where gospel music came from. And it took a year to film that one documentary, a lot of research, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of constantly getting new crew members, because we actually work together in a collaborative effort, the students at SCAD, and we actually, while we're working on our projects, we're helping other people. So I had to constantly find, others to help with the camera, lighting, and everything. But it all came together by the grace of God. But it did take 1 year, and I was able to get that out to different festivals and got awards for that, and just continue to pursue my passion for filmmaking and casting, and found myself working in the industry with the Tyler Perry Studios, and just continue to keep moving forward and still pursuing passion for filmmaking.
Wow, such an amazing opportunity. Well, many amazing opportunities that you've had, that God's graced you with. And, it's interesting. I would have never known that because you're so humble. I'd never known some of the things that you had done or have done, which is very, very powerful. And I'm going to come back to you in a little bit and find out some of the challenges and pitfalls that you found along the way.
Okay.
But Tanya, Elder Tanya, you are like making some serious moves too, as it relates to, even speaking of women, having a heart for women. I know that you have a nonprofit organization for women exiting prison and helping single mom, abused women and homeless women, and being like a liaison for others, to make sure that they get employment and all the resources that they need. Tanya, I know your love for God, I know your passion for God, but what was it that made you decide that, hey, I want to take this deeper and I really want to delve into helping women? What was it about that? How did that become like your passion?
Yeah, so I'll be happy to share that. So it kind of just fell in my lap type of thing.
Okay.
I failed to mention that I am a licensed property and casualty insurance agent, as well as life and health. So
Cool.
I got a little bit of exposure when it comes to the background of just social biases when it comes to women versus men, and the neglect there. A lot of the underwriting pieces I was able to see firsthand, and unfortunately it did prick my heart and hurt a lot to see those who were had histories of violations and different things, that doors were just closed in their face, and the opportunities our system is not set up to support as much as it should be. And so that was where my desire was birthed at.
Wow.
I think that God anointed it after the desire and the need was presented, and I was able to visualize and really be one-on-one every day with that need. It kind of gave me the burden for it. And so last year I launched #Girl I Cover You, and it's been doing phenomenal, and I'm excited about supporting these women and showing them that there is a better way. I too I was never in prison, but I did have some unfortunate backgrounds in life that we as women faced. I was a single mother at one point for a very brief time, but nonetheless, I was a single mother. And that also gave me a insight to the pain and the struggle of that. And I didn't really know how much I carried that mantra with me into my next phase of life until #Girl I Cover You was birthed. And so now I can go back and grab my sister and say, hey, you're not in this alone, and now we can get through this together.
Wow, amazing. It's amazing the different spectrums of what you both are doing. And even, Tiffany, you're a millennial. Tanya, I'm not quite sure your age. I know you're younger than, I have to give a shout out to Dana, my best friend. Tanya and Dana are sisters. But it's amazing how, regardless of like the age spectrum, how we as women can walk in our purpose to make impact.
Really?
And it really sounds like you both are making a serious dent and an impact on folks' lives, whether it's through film production or whether it's through your nonprofit, Tanya. How long did it really, what was like the journey to get you to that space where you are now, where you feel comfortable with what you're doing? Because I'm sure that, when you were starting out in film and production, you're talking about going overseas, Tiffany, and then also Tanya stepping out on faith. I'm sure there were times you were like, okay, now this is a bit much. Like, what was it that sort of propelled you to give you the courage to continue your journey and to, go forward, even regardless of naysayers? Because let's face it, we're women, and sometimes, and I'm saying all the time, but there are times when the road that we travel can be a little bit more difficult. And you mentioned it, Tanya, can be a little more challenging, even than men. And I don't bash men. I don't do that. We don't bash on my channel. But right. But the fact is, there's sometimes where it can be a little bit more difficult. So Tanya, how was it that you were able to continue through, and how was it that you were able to navigate your way, even maybe with some of the uncertainties that you had?
Oh, absolutely. I think that I can shed a whole lot of light to that. And you have been privy to my childhood up to adulthood, and just my personality alone can be a struggle for me. I would say that I'm somewhat of an introvert, although I don't meet strangers. Although I don't meet strangers, and I'm the sweetest person. Your intro question is sweet or sour. I'm definitely the sweetest person that you will want to meet. However, because I come from a large family, I come from a family of 8, and just my role in my family, and just being that one that supports, that one that pushes, that one that undergirds, and kind of, sits in the background. Sure. This has caused me to come forward. Wow. And it caused me to give voice and reason to who I was created to be. And with that, it supersedes any struggle that I have to go through. The calls that I get on a day-to-day basis, the prayer requests, just being in connection with the plight of the woman, young or old. My audience ranges from teenagers up until older age of women that support #Girl I Cover You. And the struggle is the same. Wow. The things that we experience are the same on both ends. I'm glad that you do have a millennial and then someone is me, and I don't mind sharing my age today. That is, I'm 42 years old. Wow. Yes, I'm 42 years old. And so my journey has been spectacular, and I am a example of God's grace in the earth. And so when I reach back to these women that are going through, that are struggling, I'm here to tell them, I'm here to cover you. And this is not a cover up, but this is to cover you while you get strength to get up. That's and so, and not only just covering you with being a liaison for the community and reconnecting and rehabilitating them, but even spiritually, introducing these people to God in a more personal way and telling them how to be successful, how to succeed is definitely in your decision making with God.
That's so good. So, it's interesting. Tiffany, I could imagine with you working, alongside some amazing folks and having that responsibility as a woman, how did that make you feel? And how were you able to sort of navigate through that industry, continue to navigate through that industry? Yeah. How are you and how were you able to do that and still keep your integrity, your posture, your composure? How were you able to do that?
That's so interesting that you asked that, because I know a lot when I was in grad school, I often encountered a lot being a female student in a majority male industry, even in school. So with doing projects and trying to get things done, I kind of noticed where, well, he got to do that, but I didn't. But okay, so I had to always, go to God and ask for direction and have him just continue to give me discernment on what to do in navigating the industry. And even outside of grad school, when I actually worked in the industry, it was a little bit, I would say, I actually had a great experience with not really coming up against being a female, but I see on a larger scale, just from looking at the news and what's going on in the industry and how males in the industry get more of an advantage. But I bless God that I hadn't had to actually face that in the actual industry itself, but definitely I noticed several challenges that I experienced with that coming up and going through grad school, definitely. But by the grace of God, he always prevailed, regardless of the people who tried to block my progress, because I noticed when I'm doing something, in particular, when I was doing my project on gospel music, when you're actually exalting his name, the enemy tries everything he can to stop the progress. So with that project, I faced so many challenges, but it came out on top and won an award. So God got the glory. That was the main intent from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as he always does.
Yes.
When you were working along with like some of the bigger, I use that word loosely, but some of the larger platforms with like Tyler Perry and that sort of thing, was it like a challenge for you to really stay integrous, to walk in character? I know your mom, so I know what she put in you, but was it like just really a challenge, especially I'm just imagining having to make the choices to really, stay focused with your passion, your purpose, your destiny, knowing where you wanted to go. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so definitely when I started out, I was, so blessed and so amazed at how the environment, when I went off to even working with Tyler Perry Studios, how he had, a no nonsense environment.
Okay.
This will not happen here. This will not go on. You
Okay.
either,
Awesome.
stay in this, pathway, follow these rules, and we respect everyone that's working on set and everyone that's, coming in to audition. Everyone had respect for each other. Now, as far as other projects and things that I've been trying to work on and trying to get a part of, that I noticed that I was not chosen to be a part of. And then I see why I wasn't.
Okay.
Because like you said, with the integrity side of it, it was more so of, well, God, I see where I didn't get that position.
Yeah.
And when some things are even passed on to me, scripts and things that are not of God, and I'm like, I can't work on that project. I, admire the work that the person is doing and what the visual story they're trying to tell. But at the same time, that doesn't align with what my beliefs are. So I do face a lot of that, of seeing a lot of things that don't line up with what I believe in. But at the end of the day, it still all works together. And I have to choose between, am I going to work on this project or am I going to work on that? And it can be tough, because even in school, I even had a situation where I had a professor who was trying to literally tell me to use profane language in a script. And I said, no, that's not what I stand for. And even the entire class, they were like, yes, this is real life. I said, I understand that, but this is not going to be in my script.
Wow.
So I experienced that in different, at different times.
That is so interesting, ladies. And that brings me to the point, because there are so many people. There are a lot of ladies who are doing a lot of great things. I mean, I know you guys are out there on social media, I'm sure, and you see things. You see the YouTube channels. You see a lot of things that are happening with some women that are doing a whole bunch of cool things. And matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to all the women who are doing great things, who are making moves, who are pursuing their passion, who's going after their dreams, who's doing it with integrity. But Tanya, how do we, and this is the thing that I even have to tell myself often, and I don't know if you guys, but you kind of alluded to it, Tiffany, as well. But Tanya, because there's so much content out there, because there's so many people doing so many things, right? And I think it's good to be able to glean from other folks and get ideas. But how do you, Tanya, stay true to what you're supposed to do? We're talking about passion. So how do you stay true to what God has told you to do and not veer off and try to do what's popular, so to speak, or what other ladies are doing? You know what I mean? Because you kind of get lost a little bit potentially with trying to be, I guess, popular. But then I think popularity can overtake purpose if we're not careful.
Absolutely.
How do you stay true to yourself, Tanya?
It's a daily decision, and so ironically that you even asked me that question. I was faced with something earlier today that I had to sit in that moment and remind myself, but my calling,
come on,
what I have been chosen to do. I begin to think about even the birthing of #Girl I Cover You, and how the Lord, he basically impressed upon my heart about reaching the core of the woman. Yeah. A lot of things that we see on social media is just the shadow of what we're presenting. I don't care if it's a business or if it's another group, or if it's a ministry even. It's the shadow of what we really are. So how do I stay true to that? I stay true to my calling. I stay true to what I know that I have been handpicked and anointed to do. That's whether it's in the marketplace or in ministry. I stay authentic to that, and and I found that authenticity is what attracts people. It's what connects you to your purpose, and it's what in return yields a result. Because I can't be you. You're a great person. You're a wonderful person, whom I admire dearly and always have. But I'm not anointed to be you. I can't be Tiffany. She's awesome. I'm learning about all the wonderful things, and shout out to you. I commend you. A millennial, very, 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 very educated and very skilled in what you do. Awesome. But I could by no means be you. But I am who I am. And first of all, I had to be I learned how to be confident in who I am. And so as women, I think that's a lot of our struggle. We are not confident in who we are. And so we have to take opportunities to sit in the moment and say, but that's not me. So
Wow.
I'm going to be true because I am like your around the way girl. You know, I'm your girl.
Yes.
If you got an issue, let's connect on the girl level. You
Love
know, and that takes nothing away from being up here or down here.
Come
But you
on.
have to be able to meet people where they are, and there are needs that we as women need. And so I have been anointed to meet those needs, the most intricate parts of a woman that we normally don't easily display. And I'm grateful that God has given me a grace to be able to comfort my sisters in those times and show them a way out.
Wow, that's so good, Tanya. And just, you know, just being true to ourselves and being who we are, who God made us, because I think, you know, it is so dangerous for us to try to be somebody else and walk, and we'll fail every time.
Every time.
I know that I can't be another person. I can't be someone else. I just have to be the authentic me. And I think the older that I get, the more that I learn that it's okay just to be me. But what about you, Tiffany? Where, you know, how do you just stay true to your purpose and your call and what God has told you to do?
Yeah, so I just basically just continue to ask God and talk to him and ask him, is it your will for me to do this? Or is it your will for me to do that? Because I know what I want to do, but does that line up with you want me to do?
Wow.
And I always, you know, want to remain myself and just, you know, give to others and support others and be there for them and just remain who I am, even regardless of my surroundings or who I may be working with. And like I said earlier, I really appreciate how Tyler Perry, he even created his environment. It was so much of a safe environment for, you know, everything had to be positive. You had to always respect others. And I really appreciate that type of environment. And I was listening to TD Jakes one day, and he said, okay, when they call you for whatever's coming up next, don't go as anybody else, go as yourself.
Whoa.
So, yes. And he said the reason why they called you is because they want you. They don't want you being someone else. So when you show up for whatever it is, be yourself. And I held on to that and always, you know, remaining in good groundings in my teaching from my mom and my grandmother, and just remaining grounded in God. And also I had a friend, we were talking, you know, just about the industry and how it's just so much out there that you can easily get caught up in that's not lining up with God. And he said, you know, if I didn't have morals, I would be so famous right now. But because I have morals, I'm still, you know, trying to get where I want to be, but I'm doing well. But he said at the end of the day, I prefer to keep my, you know, grounding. So I just always remember to keep God first and just stay grounded.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful to hear both of you say that you're walking in who God wants you to be, and you're being your authentic self and really walking that line of integrity. How important is it for you? And we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes, but how is it important? I know for me, it's important to have mentors. How important is it for you guys to have mentors, and who inspires you? Like, where do you get your inspiration from? Who just gets you going? Who just like, man, you know, when I listen to them or I talk to them, they just really set me on a path to really wanting to go forth. Tanya, who's your mentor, or who gives you that just extra spark?
Well, I think my mentor and my extra spark would be two separate people.
Okay.
For the industry that I'm in, and just for the arena that I'm attracting, and it's kind of different for me because the Lord uses my ministry as well as the natural things, and we kind of mesh them together, and we address all things women. We address, you know, the whole totality of who we're created to be as women, but definitely my mother, whom I love dearly. You know that I'm a mama's girl. My mother is everything to me. She is my pillar. She's my sounding board. She's my stay. She's just my everything. I've watched her life for these 42 years that I've been here, at least. I've watched her life, and I find no flaw in her. I find no variance. She has been a strong example of a virtuous woman. And so that alone gives me the push to want to recreate what I've seen and hopefully who I am. I know that I have her attributes, I have her teachings, and I walk therein. So she's definitely a mentor for me. She's definitely a mentor. And now on the business side, on the nonprofit side, I would definitely look at Priscilla Schreier. I love her.
I love her.
I love her. I love her. Yes, I listen
and
to
Crystal Evans too.
Yes, I listen to her podcast. Just her life, you know, just her story and how she connects. It just draws me. I haven't seen her in person yet, but one day I will.
We're gonna go together.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. We can do that. Let's do that. One day I will, but I love her. I love her. I love how she connects and how she draws people in through just being her. Just simple words that God has given her, and it's so powerful. It's so it yields such great results, and she's so authentic and pure. And I just love her.
Love that. What about you, Tiffany?
I would definitely say I have a lot of mentors, and one person definitely my mom, because she always pushes me to go to the next level. And she said, okay, she'll say, okay, what's going on now? What are you working on now? What are you doing now? Let's just keep it going. Let's keep it moving. So she always keeps me motivated, even at times when I just don't want to do anything, just sit and relax and sit still. But she always keeps me thinking about what I need to be working on next. And I would just also say a lot of my family members, my many aunts that I have, they always keep me motivated and grounded and wanting to move forward, and my family members. And I've met a lot of people along the way that just would always, I never meet a stranger, so they would just always push me to want to go to the next level. You and Pastor Robeson, and also just from listening to people like TD Jakes, they always push me to go to the next level. And one dear mentor that I have that passed away, that's actually in my documentary, Mr. Ben Tucker, jazz musician. He was always such a great inspiration to me. And he said something to me when I was working on the project, and I said, I got a long way to go. I'm just getting started on this thing. And he said, you know, when you work on something long enough and you just work on it, it's going to blossom into a beautiful flower. You may not see it in the beginning, but it's just going to blossom into a beautiful flower. So I just held on to that, you know, even after he passed away, just continue to push forward.
Wow. So beautiful mentioning your moms and all of the mentors. And I totally believe that there's such greatness that we often pass by, and starting with our family and our moms and that sort of thing. They're like amazing. I remember my mom, and just the imprint. I still feel the imprint of her in my life as well. But I do believe we need mentors, and we do need to be able to pull some fruit from other folks' trees. You know what I mean? Lastly, want to ask you guys if there are other women which I know there were going to be other women who are going to be watching this, and they're sort of in between trying to figure out what their passion, what their purpose is, kind of the thing that they're wanting to do, that God has chosen them to do. What would be your advice to them? What should they do? How should they get started? How can they figure out what their passions are?
Who goes? Tiffany, you want to take that? Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Hi, Tanya.
Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to pray. You need to pray. Just because we know that we're called to do something, I think that I know that there is a time and a purpose for all things. And so just because you know that that's where you're supposed to go, is it that you should be going there now? Or is it that you should have been there 2 years ago? You know, there's a timeline, and there, along with that timeline comes the provisions of God and the plans of God. So you need to seek Him about the plan of God. So I did that for so long, and He kept pushing me out, and I kept pulling myself back. He kept pushing me out, and I kept pulling myself back. To eventually, I prayed, and I said, "This time, if you would grace me for another opportunity, I'll walk boldly in it." And so when God did that, at the leading of leadership, of course, and just those who you admire and those who you know have a heart for you, and anointed. We have to be able to embrace those people that are in our lives that gives us direction. Yeah. Sometimes we don't listen. We don't take the time to just listen. Wow. People, you talked about mentors. One thing about being a mentee is that you have to have a heart to listen. And I intentionally said heart, because sometimes we hear with our ears, but our heart is far from it. And so therefore we don't see actions. And I lived in that space for so long, for many years. So when I see other women, or when other women come into our group and they're aspiring to do things, I urge them to listen with your heart and obey your heart. Because if you obey your heart, I promise you provisions will be in place for you. The things that you thought would be hurdles would be swimming pools. And you'll be able to go through them with grace. Because I promise you, in this time, since May 9th of 2002, when I released my first book, and God began to just put me on a fast track.
Yes.
He put me on a fast track, and I was steadily trying to hit the brakes, and he was hitting the gas. And he was telling me, no, you need to go forward, and you need to do what I'm calling you to do. And as I began to obey him, he just started opening doors. And these doors are it's not about me. It's about that woman that's out there hurting, that one that's lost, that one that feels like there's no hope, or that single mom that doesn't know how she's going to feed her child the next morning. The father's walked off and she's all alone, and she's struggling and not about trusting God and feeling like a failure. That's who it's about. And so I have to remind myself my why.
Yes.
Why am I doing this? Yes. Why? And each day that I wake up, the why is with me, and it keeps the passion burning. So it's definitely time and pray, seek God. And when he speaks, obey him. Don't wait. Don't compromise, because his word is sure. For our lives. And I don't care if it's what it is, if it's a business or if it's your career path, or whatever it may be, or if it's time for you to become a mother, you're seeking God about motherhood, your marriage, whatever. You have to seek God, and you have to trust him for that he knows all things. And whatever answer he says, whether it's a yes or whether it's a no, be willing to hear with your heart and obey him.
So good. What about you, Tiffany? That was so good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was taking that in. That was very encouraging.
Yes.
But I would definitely say just basically look at your gifts and what gifts you have, and that will help start to determine what it is that your passion is, or where you're passionate about. And basically what I do, because I'm still at the phase now, even though I'm doing different things for film, like, okay, what am I really supposed to be doing? Is this your will for my life right now? Am I supposed to be working on anything else outside of film? I know how to do this, so is there anything else I'm supposed to be learning? So always reading and learning, and just looking at those gifts, and then give them to God and say, these are the gifts I have. I'm passionate about them. Is it your will for me to follow this route? And just go by that scripture. My gift will make room for me, because it definitely will. And you will just fall into your passion. Trust me, you may not know it at first, because I tell you, when I first started in filmmaking, and when I walked on campus and saw all the equipment and everything, I said, okay, is this filmmaking or is this construction? Because I'm confused right now. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? But yes, I dove into it, and it just my love for filmmaking blossomed even on from there. So just take and listen to what you're passionate about, and start noticing and writing and journaling. I journal all the time, and write your prayers down, and ask God when you hear things and hear a voice, and if God's speaking to you, and definitely say, okay, God, are you telling me to do this? And he will give you an answer. I assure you that he will give you an answer.
Oh, wow. Yes. That's so beautiful. And, we just want to encourage anyone who's watching this, that it doesn't matter what your age is, it's never too late to discover your passion, your gifts, and walk in those. And, everyone's different. And, we're hearing some beautiful things from Tanya, Elder Tanya, and Tiffany about their passion and their purpose. But hey, you just said it. It could be just having a family. It could be just being mom. It could be being a good wife. It could be being a good family member. So that passion is not just something that maybe we actually get to see out there, Or, it could be something just simple. I'm just simply here. God put me on this earth just to serve and be a blessing to somebody else. And you discover and figure out what that is, and don't compare whatever that compassion is with somebody else's passion. You just walk completely in line with what God wants you to do, because I'm telling you, you're here for a purpose. Every woman is designed for a purpose, and every woman has a purpose and passion to do something in their lives. Y'all, this was like so good. I feel like stirred up to get some things going. I want to say that both of you are amazing. All the things that you both are doing are wonderful, but to me, what sticks out most to me about both of you is your sweet heart, and the heart and the love that you have for God, the heart and the integrity that you have. To me, that's so important, because that speaks volume, especially in this day and age that we're living in the culture that we're living in, the toxic culture. Just you walking with character and integrity is a testimony and a witness right there. That's purpose right there.
Yes.
That's some big purpose, y'all. And I
It
just
is.
appreciate you guys just for sharing your time. I do want to give everyone the opportunity to know how they can get in touch with you, because there may be somebody that's watching on here who may say, Tiffany, I got this big film offer, or I need your help with something. Can you mentor my daughter, or whatever? I don't know. Or Tanya, someone may need your services. They may need your ministry as well. So, and they may want your book too. So I want you guys to both let them know how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your products, Elder Tanya, those sorts of things, because again, you two are a jewel and you're such a blessing. So Tiffany, how can folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Tiffany Blake, and also I'm on LinkedIn as Tiffany Blake as well. So either one of those avenues, you'll definitely be able to reach me that way.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. What about you, Tanya?
And so I am on Facebook as well. I do have a group that's called #GirlICover. It is for women only. It is a safe place. It's our safe family, and we share there and support there. Come join our group. You can find me also with my page under T Rose Ministers. I have a YouTube page, T Rose Ministers, Instagram, T Rose Ministers. And if you would like to go ahead and purchase my book, you can find it at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. We have some upcoming things that are going to be really great. So follow us. Connect with me. I have you can go to my website at www.troseministers.org. And we will, if you want to submit a prayer request, or if you want to solicit any of the services that I provide there, you can connect with me on the website. And we would love your support. We have Girl I Cover You merchandise out, additional from my books. If you would like to get one of our t-shirts, our hat, all of it goes directly to the nonprofit. And that helps us to support what we're doing and what we're called to do.
Awesome. Love it. So you guys, please make sure women reach out to both of them and let them know that you're interested in what they're doing. This was so amazing. You guys, this was like, I feel like I was just chilling with you guys on the couch, and we were just conversating and just talking about some good things, and you made it so easy. And I'm just so appreciative of both of your spirits and your hearts, and for giving me your time tonight. This was so good. So I know that everybody who's been watching this, I know that you were blessed and you are encouraged to go out and walk out your passion and walk in your purpose. This has been another episode of Your Life with Yolanda, and we will see you next time. Thank you, ladies.
Bye.